Let's take a look at how to perform a chi-squared goodness of fit test on the TI-8384 calculator. In list 1, we'll enter our observed counts, and in list 2, we'll enter our expected counts. We'll use the M&M milk chocolate candy data that's found on page 687. So we go to Stat, Edit, and we'll clear list 2, and then we'll clear list 1. And as I said, in list 1, we're entering our observed counts. So there was 9 blue, 8 orange, 12 green, 15 yellow, 10 red, and 6 brown. And then in list 2, we have our expected counts based on the proportions that are reported by M&M Mars. For the expected count of blue is 14.4, and we don't need to round these counts. It's okay to have expected counts be these values, remembering this is what we'd expect on average in many groups of M&Ms of this sample size. 9.6 is our expected count for green, 8.4 for yellow, and 7.8 for both red and brown. Now we'll go to Stat, go over to Tests, scroll to the bottom, and choose option D, chi-squared goodness of fit test. Our observed counts are on list 1, our expected counts are on list 2, and our degrees of freedom is our number of categories minus 1. We had 6 categories, so our degrees of freedom is 5. I'll go down to Calculate, hit Enter, and we have a chi-squared test statistic of 10.17 and a p-value of 0.07. And notice here there's a list that's been created called contribution. If you take a look under second stat, so second list, we can see that there's a contribution list here, meaning we can see the actual components that went into calculating the chi-squared test statistic. So we can see the actual observed minus expected squared divided by expected values. I also want to point out that under the chi-squared test, in addition to the calculate option, we have the draw option, in which case the chi-squared distribution will be drawn along with some shading. Let's see, why did that say dimension mismatch? Let me try to find out. I think it's because I have a stat plot turned on. Let's turn that off and try that again. Stat, tests, chi-squared goodness of fit test, option D. Our observed counts are in list 1. Our expected counts are on list 5. I'll come down here to draw. And that matches what we saw earlier.